My house is filled with workers, my office is completely disassembled, and I cut my thumb. Fasten your seatbelts. It's rant time.
It's time for Hollywood Grump.
Hey everybody, welcome to Hollywood Grump. I am the Grump, aka Mr. Grumbles, aka Whit McBlanket, aka... Here on Hollywood Grump, we talk about everything from new and vintage gear, including testing and reviews, to surviving the business of Hollywood, to stuff that just twists my undies. All through the lens of a man who chooses his words so carefully. For all you gear nerds out there, today's episode is shot on one of my pride and joy lenses, the Canon FD 55mm f1.2 Chrome Nose. A stunning piece of engineering that's getting harder and harder to find, especially without fungus. Beautifully warm, a unique filmic look, and it weighs about 5 pounds with all the glass. It's just a tank. I found mine in absolutely pristine condition from a private collector for about $400. So I highly recommend trying one if you can find a good one. Let me know in the comments below how you think this lens looks, and remember, there's nothing wrong with your color settings. I just don't get nearly enough vegetables in my life.
Yeah, I see it.
It's bad. So let me just set this episode up by saying that this will not be my normal style this week. Due to debris and destruction throughout my house, I am crammed into about 8 square feet, and I'm having to film this while the crew is on their lunch break. As I completely misjudged how far into my workspace they would need to be, I'm relegated to editing this episode on my wife's laptop using iMovie, which I don't believe I've ever opened in my entire life. I have limited access to my normal visual goodies, graphics, and music, so this will be a decidedly underproduced show. Sorry in advance. Not to mention there's also construction going on down the street with trucks moving back and forth, which is driving my dog and the rest of the dogs in the neighborhood absolutely insane. None of this makes me very happy. And because this is not my normal setup, I don't know what the sound is going to sound like. I don't even know if I'm in focus. I certainly don't have access to my normal lights, and I'm irritated about the whole thing. The work on my house, by the way, I'm not getting a wing put on or servants' quarters built. I'm getting some really nasty water damage fixed, but I should be able to get back into my normal rhythm by the next episode, as I'm told that all the work will be completed in about 10 days.
10 days!
So in the spirit of all that's going on in my life right now, here's a bunch of random stuff that just absolutely tweaked my taint this week. And yes, be forewarned, this is one long rant. This is in no particular order. To all persons selling their old used gear online, cut the crap with the contact seller nonsense and post a fucking price for what you're selling. We all know what you're doing. Stop it. Just stop it. You want us to quote the first price on the off chance that we're shooting over the moon, that we're $1,000 more than you were planning on asking. This isn't a Persian bazaar. You're selling your gear online. We know you want to haggle, but for the love of God, just post your rock bottom price, sell it fast, and be done with it. It's insane. I hate contacting people that I like, let alone perfect strangers, and I'm certainly not going to contact someone to battle back and forth on price. So stop posting $1 as the price with a message to contact the seller. We're not going to do it. To all manufacturers of film equipment, stop building the hype 14 months in advance of the product's actual release. It's either ready to be released for sale or it isn't. Pre-orders are a frickin' minefield. Once you have our orders, we're completely at your mercy. You might release the product in 2 weeks, or you might release the product in 7 months. We have no way of knowing. Usually it's somewhere in the middle, but that doesn't negate the fact that we've waited for 3.5 months for the product to actually arrive. So pre-orders are crap. And a word of caution to you all. Deliver the product in a couple of weeks, or we're all gonna cancel our orders. You don't believe me? Ask Black Magic. Over 35% of the pre-orders for their Pocket Cinema 4K were canceled because of cockamamie delays. And by the time the 4K was ready to ship, the 6K was available. They absolutely shot themselves in the foot. And on a related note, like the message I just gave to online sellers, if you do have a product that's ready for release, post a price. I don't want to be part of your mailing list. I don't want to attend a hands-on event. And even if I did, I would do none of that without having some idea of what this item costs. Everyone has a budget range in mind when they're looking at a new piece of gear. No amount of fondling your new light will magically make an additional $700 appear in my bank account. Just post a price and let me know if I should even be remotely interested in this thing. And lastly, stop being shifty with your advertising. If it's a piece of gear that's clearly priced and intended for large production companies, soundstage owners, or rental houses, put that shit right in the headline. Most small companies and independent filmmakers are not going to drop $6,000 on an LED light. At the very minimum, don't just blanket send this ad out to everybody. Check and clean your mailing list, because clearly I shouldn't be on it. And on the subject of shifty advertising, stop the madness when it comes to new cinema lenses. I've been seeing more and more ads of late touting lenses that are 6K ready or 8K ready. Do not fall for this marketing hype. All lenses are 6K and 8K ready. All. Your 1985 Canon EF lenses are 8K ready. As long as the rear element has an image circle capable of full frame, it's 8K ready. It's 10K ready. And even if it's not a full frame image circle, it's still 8K ready with a vignette on it. All lenses are 8K ready. Do not fall for this. Okay, I'll qualify the statement and say all lenses made after 1959. It is just glass that lets light pass through to your sensor. Think about them as your eyes. Your eyes, in good working order, do not limit the amount of colors and detail you see. Your brain does that. Your brain is the sensor. The sensor is what needs to be 6K or 8K ready. The glass just lets the light in. Every lens, as I've talked about in previous videos, has different ways of handling color, saturation, sharpness, image fidelity. No matter how cheap or expensive, they all handle it differently. So just because you spend $20,000 on an 8K ready lens, it doesn't mean it's gonna look great in 8K. Some of your 1977 Nikkor lenses might actually look better in 8K. Stop trying to dupe people with this hot catchphrase horseshit. It is absolutely bananas. On a completely unrelated... Hi. Almost. I'm almost finished. Thanks. Is someone sawing outside? Can they just ease back the throttle for a few minutes? Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate it. On a completely unrelated topic, I am a huge proponent of dedicated bike lanes in every major city. But before you applaud me, it has absolutely nothing to do with the safety and convenience of cyclists. This past week I had to take a road trip for a project, going down to San Diego. It's a 2-hour drive on the 5 South, but it took me 90 minutes to get to the highway. Why? I'm glad you asked. Because a group of cyclists in their little uniforms on their $4,000 bikes were crowding the right side of the lane, holding up, I kid you not, 12 miles of traffic. 12 miles. Absolute nonsense. So I will fight tooth and nail. I will run for governor if necessary to get you guys dedicated bike lanes. Everywhere. Because that shit has to cease. Further, I will make sure that all bike lanes are lit. They have lights over them, so that you can bike before rush hour and after rush hour. I totally admire you for getting some exercise and riding your bike, but please don't involve the rest of us. Don't involve the rest of us. We didn't decide for you to go riding your bike today. And for any cyclists out there, before you get all sanctimonious and puff your chests out, just get over yourselves. You are not making an emergency delivery to a hospital for someone's kidney transplant. And you don't have to hurry up and spread the news that you just discovered uranium. You are riding a bike. And when the drivers were trying to swerve around them and almost coming into head-on traffic, they were shooting us nasty looks. We're not gonna drive 10 miles an hour because you are. Move to the side. Next on the list, what? What's that? You guys are supposed to be at lunch. Yeah, it'll take me 25 minutes, 20 minutes to finish. No, it's okay, thank you. And finally, to all clients out there, stop demanding $100,000 worth of work for your $12,000 budget. This one hasn't affected me directly this week, but it has affected one of my close friends. And sure as the sun rises, it will affect me, because that train's never late. Stop hiding behind the fact that you don't know how much things cost. Bullshit. For most of you, this isn't your first project. You absolutely know how much things cost. So you are absolutely feigning that you have no idea how much production costs. Stop it. Just stop it. It's bananas. To that end, my next episode will deal completely with explaining why things cost as much as they do, why live action is expensive, what everyone on the set does, and what they charge to do it. Let's clear this shit up once and for all. Small agencies and production companies cannot make a dime with these kind of budgets. So, at the very least, expect to get a $12,000 piece of work when you have $12,000 to spend. Every ounce of your budget goes into just covering costs. If we break even, we're super lucky. So listen and listen good. Manage your own expectations so we don't have to do it for you. Actually, I take that back. I will manage your expectations for you. My management fee is $88,000. Lastly, I want to thank some people that helped make this show possible. The good people at The Garden Creative, thanks so much guys for your support as always. My great friend Buzz Burbank for lending his golden throat to the project.
Thanks, JR.
The infinitely talented Billy Lincoln for allowing me to use his music. And my family, who are actually out of the house, leaving me to handle all of this by myself. If you dig the show, please like and subscribe. Also, tap that dopey little bell to be alerted when new content is up. Thanks for watching. I'm hoping to get back to normal very soon. Hope you enjoyed Hollywood Grump. Until next time, and this goes for you guys, so listen up. Get the hell out of my house.